Supergirl number 10, written by Michael Green and Mike Johnson, art by Mahmoud Asrar. Last issue, we left off with Supergirl charging into Black Banshee to try to overload his absorption of energy, but all she did was just make him stronger, and it seems like he now has the upper hand. This issue is basically just, how do we deal with that situation? And we see it all from Supergirl's perspective of right now she's waking up, she's on top of a table, and it's apparently she's getting genoscanned or gene scanned in order to be gene matched with somebody. It's just a matchmaking service on Krypton, and she doesn't want to do it, but her mom is there, and her mom is like, well, these are our customs. You must do it. How else will I find someone for such a rambunctious young daughter of mine? And Supergirl's narration realizes, wait a minute, no, this is a memory. Like, this definitely happened. Like, I remember this. And we walked out of the room, and then we went somewhere else. But then we see that she's in a different memory where they went to some fire falls, just a bunch of lava on Krypton. And she's still there with her mother. She's like, okay, well, we're not supposed to be here, but regardless, Mom, I don't want to do the matchmaking thing. And she's like, well, you have to, my daughter. How else are you supposed to find a match? And she's like, you and Dad did. And she's like, shut up. Fine. You want your own destiny? Have your own destiny. And then we see her eyes get blacked out saying, like, I'm leaving you all alone now. And she walks off into one of the firefalls. To which Supergirl's like, wait a minute, that's not what happened. This is what happened. This is all like some messed up nightmare memory. This is stupid. To which then Black Banshee shows up in the form of a giant fire dragon out of the flames, and he's like, hey, yeah, I absorbed you. You didn't immediately get dissolved into me, so I'm just here picking away at your last little essences of consciousness, which I am fully privy to hear all of your thoughts and see all of these nightmares. Also, I'm a dragon. So he goes and attacks Supergirl, but then as she thinks about how her father used to tell her stories of fire dragons and people on Krypton fighting against them, she is then dressed in the armor of the people who used to fight against them. So she does have some control over her own dreams. But the fire dragon unleashes a big blast or whatever, and as it knocks her off her little platform that was protecting her, she ends up down inside some water. And when she comes up, she's in another memory of a crystalline forest where her dad used to take her just to get away from the city every once in a while. And as she reaches the shore, she's met by Tom Smythe, a.k.a. the son who sacrificed himself to stop Black Banshee's curse, like last issue, the issue before, somewhere in there. And she recognizes the name. Is like, wait a minute, you're Shaban's brother. And he's like, whoa, you know Shaban? She survived? That's great. That's fantastic. However, you seem a bit old. How long have I been in here for? Because it seems like it was only yesterday, or maybe 1,000 years, somewhere in there. So he explains, I did this, I was fighting my father, but oopsie, didn't work out the way it was supposed to, so I've just been running around in dreams of other people that he's absorbed in here. So, yeah, and she's like, well, now, hold on. I think I might know a way out of here so that we can go and help Shaban. And he's like, all right, what do you got? And he's like, well, I get my power because of my yellow sun energy. He absorbed me and my energy. Therefore, the yellow sun energy is still inside of him. If I can just pull on that, maybe I can do things. Because, by the way, she also doesn't have her powers while she's in the dreamscape. So she imagines it, and she constructs a sword out of nothing that she's able to use. And as she does so, and as she's starting to explain all this and her plan to Tom, Black Banshee comes back and attacks, still as a dragon, and he's like, hey, you found my son. I've been feeling him itching around in my brain for a while. Now I get to kill you both. What a great day this is. So, and by the way, all this is in an Irish accent. I'm not even going to bother with that, but like there's a lot of lasses and lads and whatnot. So Supergirl's ready to fight against Black Banshee, and she realizes, like, maybe I don't have the energy to fly, but maybe I can still jump real good. So she jumps up on top of Black Banshee and starts riding on his back, and she is just like, wow, this dreamscape seems really real. I wonder how much of this is actually, like, fatal. But as she's doing so, she almost falls off of Black Banshee. She manages to get her grip back on. She constructs yet another sword in order to fight him, and then just does the cross-cut off with your head sort of routine, to which he explodes with energy, And we go back out into the real world and see that Supergirl and Tom have both been ejected from Black Banshee. And he's just coughing on the ground. He's like, "What was that? What did you do to me?" To which Shaban steps up and is just like, "Oh, hey, you're weak now? That's cool. I'm going to absorb you." And she does her Banshee cry and absorbs her father and then starts laughing maniacally, saying like, "I've done it. I can't even feel him inside of me. I've won. I've won." To which Tom steps up and is like, "Hey, Shaban." Shaban freaks out for a second before realizing, "Brother, you're alive. Oh, great job. This is Supergirl, you saved my brother. I'm so proud of you." And then immediately they're met up by the American military, who, if you remember, was like just down the street for a while there. And while they were in the dreamscape, Tom was able to understand Kryptonian. Now they're out in the real world. He doesn't, but of course Shaban still does. So Supergirl tells Shaban to tell Tom, like, "Hold on tight. I'm going to fly us out of here faster than they can track us down. So here we go." And she flies away real quick. So then we get an elsewhere to a dude in a suit. I don't know if I'm supposed to recognize the dude, but he has some sort of like camouflaging tech on him, and he turns into like this machine looking thing, and he turns into a soldier, and then some blonde woman, and then a cop, and then in the end he turns into like this Ultron looking robot with like 8 eyes, and he's like, "Yes, now the mission can commence. Commence mission Supergirl." So whatever the heck this thing is, some sort of robot that can shapeshift. I like this issue, but I feel like it was supposed to do something in terms of like character development of like, oh, see through Supergirl's deepest nightmares or whatever. And honestly, because she was making such a point so early on of like, wait a minute, this didn't happen like this, it lost all of that. Like the whole part with her mom just abandoning her and being like, "No, you must live your fate on your own." I felt like that was the way we were going, and then they immediately just pivoted to like, no, now she's fighting dragons the whole issue, which I'm not opposed to. I very much liked that, and I thought it was very interesting and looked great. Mahmoud Asrar did a great job there. But it was just a little bit of a tonal whiplash of like, oh, we were going to do this emotional thing with the mom, but then, no, dragons. And then we ended it with Saban maybe being evil for like 10 seconds before kicking back to good because of her brother. Genuinely, I don't know where they're going to go with this. I enjoyed this issue, though. I know I sound like I'm bouncing around in a lot of places, but I did enjoy this issue. So overall, I'm going to give this one a 7.5. I did really enjoy it. I now know how to pronounce Shaban, which that only took 3 months longer than it should have, but now I don't sound like an idiot.